Okay guys, we got the 74 Roadrunner up on the lift, and one of the things we're addressing on this car was the fuel gauge is not working. So we're coming down to the sending unit on the fuel tank, and I'll explain a little bit about that guy. So this is your sending unit, and it's on the passenger side of the fuel tank. These Mopar sending units are all pretty much the same for the most part. They're located on different areas of the tank, but like I said, this one's on the passenger side, and you have one wire going to it, and that goes in the center like that. And I took it off and I checked it for ohms. You got to check an ohm reading on it, and it is getting an ohm reading from the wire. So I'm thinking that part is proper. No breaks in the wire, nothing's pinched or anything like that. Also, these all have to be grounded. All these sending units need to be grounded to the fuel line. And this is what your ground strap looks like. And basically that snaps around the metal outlet portion of the sending unit, and it goes onto the fuel line, the metal part of the fuel line. And that makes sure you're getting good ground. So sometimes these go bad, sometimes they break, sometimes they're not clamped good enough and they're not getting good enough ground. That's the first and easiest thing to check. Check your ground strap. And then the second thing is make sure you're getting an ohm reading coming out of the center wire. And we are, and it was grounded and it's still not working. So my wire is off, fuel line is off, and be prepared, because fuel can come out if you got too much in the tank. So do it while it's low, and then also have a plug. Sometimes you'll get some fuel coming back from the carburetor and the fuel pump. So have a little cork. I usually put a little cork in the end, and go from there. Okay. Also, to get this sending unit out, it has a locking ring, and I'm gonna see if I can set this light up underneath there and you can see a little bit better. Yeah, maybe. All right, so it's got a locking ring on there, and I had to already, because I couldn't hold the camera and use two hands, but I already knocked that loose. So this locking ring holds that sending unit into the tank, and it's got little tabs. They make a tool that you can get on there, and then you twist the locking ring, and then this locking ring will come off. And once it's off, that sending unit is ready to come out of the tank. Also, you can tap it with the chisel. You just don't want to make any sparks. You can use an aluminum chisel. That's what this is. And you can tap on the tab with a hammer, and you can get that locking ring off also that way. Just be careful. Like I said, you don't want to create a spark, and that's why you use something other than regular cold rolled steel. But the safest way is the actual tool that goes around there, and then you would put a ratchet in there, and then you turn it with the ratchet, and it comes undone, and then you don't have to swing a hammer at it. So keep that in mind. And let's get that thing out. Okay, got my locking ring off. That's what that looks like. And now that should be ready to come out. So if you grab it, give it a wiggle, and it's coming out. Sometimes you gotta kind of finagle it. Remember, your float is on the end of that. Okay. You got your feed line with a filter on it, and then you got your floaty. Sometimes these floats will get a pinhole in them, corrosion, and then they fill up with fuel. They sink to the bottom and they never come up, and that's how you don't get a reading on your fuel gauge. A lot of little things can go wrong. There's also a variable resistor in here, and that could go bad. So we're gonna find out what's going on with this dude. All right, it's out. Piece of the filter screen just fell out. Probably just from corrosion. Show you a little demo. That sending unit is out, and we're going to see if this thing is working with it out of the vehicle. So got it set up over there, and we are going to get a little pigtail on there and set up a ground, and then we can come up there with the other end of the pigtail, and we'll go to the fuel line where normally the ground strap would go. There, you're pretty much there where your feed is coming through. Even though I'm on the other side, it still should be grounded. And then over here, this is your float, and this is going to move up and down. And then inside your mechanism there will send a signal to the gauge on the dash, and that'll give you your reading. So I'm going to get a little masking tape. I'm going to prop that up about halfway. I'm going to go turn the key just on accessory and see if I get a reading on my gauge. So that's what I did. I moved that sending unit up halfway, taped it to the side, everything is plugged in, and let's go check the fuel gauge. And nothing. So I'm going to try a different sending unit, and hopefully that sucker works. So I'll show you what I did here. I got a new sending unit underneath. I didn't put it in the tank yet. I wanted to make sure the gauge is working still. So I got a new one set up. I got it plugged in and grounded just like it would if it was installed in the tank. And I moved the float up about a quarter of the way. And let's see if we got a reading on the gauge inside the car. Yep. Yeah, good. So we got a little reading, and before it was sitting on the E, and it wasn't moving. So, looks good. Everything is cool. I'm going to install the new sending unit in the tank. New sending unit installed. A couple things I did. Took some emery cloth and made sure the fuel line was good and clean for the new grounding strap. This is your grounding strap. It's going to attach to the fuel line and then back over to the sending unit, if you can see that. And then one other thing I did, the sending unit comes with a new locking ring, and those locking rings, the new ones are thin. They're not as thick of gauge as the original. So if you get the opportunity to use the original locking ring on the new sending unit, use it. It's a little thicker and it'll seal up better. There's a rubber gasket behind these, and it should come with the new sending unit. And by using the old locking ring, it will seal up a little bit better. Like I said, it's a little bit thicker gauge steel, and that's it. Hope you enjoyed. Hopefully you guys will subscribe, leave me some comments, good or bad. Try my best. I don't know everything. See you on the next one. Thank you.